same engine, haven't they? No hybrid.
Alexander, as you mentioned, a very strong contender, fourth in the championship at the moment, a young McLaren driver in the programme. So, I mean, all these drivers are really part of the young drivers programs of different, they've got Red Bull drivers, McLaren drivers. What do you think that's like, you know, to be a young driver and, you know, having that kind of pressure or, you know, support from these big teams?
I imagine that it's a great support for them to be able to line up on the grid in the livery cars and have all the support system that they have, and also get those experiences jumping into Formula 1 cars. We saw Alex done last time out jumping into Lando Norris's car in Austria and done a fantastic P4 in that first practice, and I really think that's a valuable experience being part of.
How long before the start of the race, Dave? That's first.
Ecosystem. But that's what we do at the moment right now. It's going to be on this feature race road day. Still lots of points on the table for these drivers, and as I always say, Formula 2 is some of the tightest racing that you see on the track.
I think it's just before, it's like 11:25 or something like that.
In the grandstands, I think you're going to be in for a treat.
Absolutely, and we can just see the car starting to enter the grid at the moment, so we're set for a very, very good race.
And as we saw yesterday, Andy's first ever win.
That's that thing they put through stuck in the exhaust and then fires it.
4 years yesterday. Yeah, he's still on that 43 championship and he's still in contention at the moment. I think from tyre point of view, can I just quickly say, because it's wet, all the vents are off, so he doesn't want tyre temperatures, tyre regulations don't necessarily come into force. You don't have to change tyres.
You still have to do a international pit stop before it's back on that gap window as well. You don't need to do a reset, okay? So in normal circumstances, equally after 6 laps, but everything is wet, therefore it becomes a race where we may well see pit stops, because I'm pretty sure it's going to drive. So another intriguing race that I hope that we're going to get any more rain, and we know that it does come down the same years before. You understand to make it unsafe to race. Victor Martin's now in pole position. Season 4, we know he's been leading it, but he's been ready to continue.
Bumped it down a bit then.
He's particularly quick as well. There's just a lot of drivers digging the garage. We're down in 10th place.
In Germany, then into Formula 3, and moving into F2 for most of the season last year. Did take a win in Australia. Fifth on the grid, Sebastian Montoya, who didn't really sparkle in Formula 3, but the Fernando Alonso managed Colombia, going nicely in Formula 2 in his maiden season. Again, he's also raced in the Formula Regional series, that kind of F3 equivalent championship. And sixth on the grid, number 20, Josh Dirksen, the Paraguayan German driver, who's had a race win right at the start of the year, the sprint race, indeed the only race in Australia, because the second race there, the feature race, was cancelled, was it not?
Yes, exactly.
Of the car ahead is what he's judging his pace on as he comes to the end of Hanger Straight down towards Stoke Corner, and were it not for the rain light there would be no clue whatsoever of what's up the road ahead. They come down through Vale for the first time at the end of the opening lap. it is going to be Jack Crawford in the lead, but Alex Darkham still in touch with him. Small gap back to the recovery, into Martin's in first place. The outside line then now goes Luke Browning. He's level, he's got his nose in front, but he's on the wrong line. Now can he go all the way around the outside? It's going to be very, very brave. This might be a bit more brave. He gets run out wide by Lindblad there coming through the corner, and as they get to the end of there. Into all the water, and this is how a quick start at Crawford saw it. Really, really good reflexes there, because not only did he have to chink around the stationary car in front of him virtually, but he also had to avoid Alex Dunn, who was trying to close the gap from the other direction. So Jack Crawford, good start. Luke Browning switching from one side of the road to the other, and there was nothing Richard Bashir could do to repel that great move by Luke Browning. He ain't done yet, so 12 up to 7th, and he's on the attack now to try to get on terms with Montoya.
Bashir probably covering the outside line and didn't expect him to come down the inside line suddenly.
He was back in, 19th on the grid, up to 12th place now.
That's right, so he is battling his way forward. Fornaroli, the winner yesterday, is in 11th place. That might be 12th at the moment, because he's on the top.
That's a very Montoya response, wasn't it?
Yes, that's right. Please, no more radio.
Not for the first time have we had drivers telling the engineers to be quiet. We had to stand up on it from Silverstone yesterday doing the same thing when he was leading in Formula 3. Rain expecting in 9 minutes. Also the quicker driver in that, sorry, he's dropped a bit of time, I should say, in the second sector, but Martin has got good pace for some of the laps, so has Luke Browning, and Arvid Lindblad is going wide, he's still the batteries there. Luke Browning, so he's got that gap down to just about a car length there. Beganovic scrambling to try and catch them. He wanted them to hold each other up a little bit, if possible. But Crawford looking good at the head of the field. He was on the podium here last year. Last year's winner of the feature race is like Hadjar, who we'll see in Formula 1 later. And you're about to see Arvid Lindblad for a attack again, because the bright yellow car of So on to Hanger Straight they come. Bob, just reflect on this. It has been a tough weekend for Arvid Lindblad. He's clinging on to 10th place and some points.
Yeah, nothing more than that, unfortunately, for Arvid Lindblad. But that's typical of the championship. It goes up and down like that.
All running together, and Browning, of course, catching up. He's the quickest man out of the group.
Yeah, the moment they get into a fight, Bogdanovic is going to be with him as well because he looks pretty racy in the silver and red. High-tech number 8 running in 7th place.
Only race.
That's right, there's Luke Browning there on screen going out of the left of Brooklyn. There's a sideways burst and then still ahead, 1.8 seconds of margin at the start of this lap, but really it's where 4th, 5th and 6th is concerned that all the attention remains with Luke Browning then on the back of Josh Dirksen. Further behind him we've got Montoya, of course, chasing after Gavin. Tries to at least 620 brake horsepower and then fires himself onto the Wellington straight. He's only just ahead of Dirksen, who's coming after him. Here they come down underneath the vehicle bridge down to Brooklyn. Stanek tries to cover off the inside line. They go back to the other side of the racetrack to get the line for the corner. Dirksen's really quick through Brooklyn, and Browning edging ever closer.
Stanek has lost a couple of paces there.
He has indeed, yeah, so Dirksen got him at left field, Browning got him at Cox as well, and the Gavin into the mix, and there's Stanek got a problem because he's stood before the line. Number 20, Dirksen. Blue machine still with him. Number 7, Browning in 5th place. Just pulling to the left, coming up the Wellington straight, just to get out and duck out of some of that spray that's in his face. So Browning tries to think about a move at the left hand of Brooklyn. Can't do it there, so he turns out of the corner. Wide there goes Dirksen, and we know that Browning is committed. Browning yesterday made contact. They are both Williams driver development programme members, aren't they? Both connected to the same Formula 1 team, so it probably didn't go down all that well yesterday, making contact with one another. However,
I remember Browning and Bogdanovic are teammates as well. High team.
hands it off as he goes through Aintree and gives another face full of spray to the British driver.
So as they come now down Wellington Straight, Browning again thinks about move on the inside, doesn't do it there. Coming out of the corner, up towards Luffield now, and Dino again. Done this time.
11th place, the driver second in the championship, and the yellow number 1, Victor Go.
But right now, up front, Jack Crawford driving away from the quick Luke Browning. He's back on the inside line, going through Stowe, and coming out of the corner again, down through Van Dirksen. Really good. If they stay on them to the end, are going to be really well worn, to say the least.
Forderoli ahead of Linda on that lap, up into the point and onto the tail of Richard Bashore as ahead of the Wellington Straight, about to pounce, I think, for 9th.
And a very sideways Joshua Jackson coming out and looking for that pipe move with the door. On board with Linda, I think he got a bit caught up in traffic and that meant to drop back slightly. So now Forderoli, having been able to get past Linda, tries to do what the Brit didn't do, and that's get past Richard Bashore. They're almost together at the end of Hander Straight. As well, he's onto the tail of Jerkson for 5th place. Also, 6/10 quicker than the race leader on that last lap was done, so the gap's back down to less than 2 seconds. How much of this is about people looking after tyres, I wonder, and how many people are gambling on the fact that there's more rain coming? Well, it's still considering the track conditions, the same driving standards. It's the tyre, especially if it's a long pit lane.
The tyre change obviously is nothing like Formula 1 because there's a limited number of personnel that can operate the tyre change. Whereas in Formula 1, of course, you've got like 20 odd.
Straight back on the way out of the corner. The number 2 car of Stanek to remain in 7th place.
Goes to tailmate run down Wellington Straight, so Stanek ahead at the start of the lap, still ahead just. Montoya goes for the inside line, but was never going to get there in time, so Stanek moves across this because he's been up front all the way. He's not had to do very much in terms of defending, but what he has had to do is be totally error-free. It's been a good drive. The race leader is there at the end of Vale. He's about to complete 14 laps when he comes this time out of Club Corner, heading towards the last personal best in the first sector. It is suddenly getting brighter and brighter, and I think increasingly now the drivers are going to have to look after these tyres. Speed is one thing now,
where they can, hunting for those wet patches.
Luke Browning is very, very nearly on the back of Victor Martins now for third place in what has been one of the best drives of the weekend. Luke Browning coming now down through Vale, heading towards the So with the BRDC clubhouse in the background, Luke Browning now gets to the inside line, going through Luffy, obviously going to be level as they come out of the corner, not quite, so has to slot back in the Similar livery, both representing Williams, and there Browning using DRS, going to the outside line, not able to do it, gets the undercut though, coming out of Stowe. Martin's car moving around a little bit more, so Browning looks as though he's on the mission. He's also so a good run from the left hand that gives him hopefully a good line into Luffy. He goes wide for the first part and then tries to V off the corner, go for a tighter line for the second part. Doesn't really work that time. Browning is not giving up, and again he's within DRS range as they come into Stoke Corner, and a big dive going into the right-hander. Not quite able to level up in time, so it is still Martin's just ahead of Browning as they drop down to the end of Vale. So this battle raging on for third place. Luke Browning on a mission. Absolute best in the first sector. He's gained a place in the middle sector. What else can we get out of him before the end of the race? 23 minutes still to go. Teams still trying to work out whether or not they ought to roll the dice and come in for slings. Drivers saying no. Teams clearly have an alternative. This has been a really impressive drive, hasn't it? Because he's been able to control the pace up front all the time.
Yeah, he's been a winner for a couple of years now in Formula 2.
Are considering slings. They're not just asking drivers now, they're getting ready. And perhaps at some point they're going to force the issue with the drivers. But yeah, for the lead, having talked about how well Jack Crawford was going, so too is Alex Dunn. Interesting now, we're on lap 19.
What they do want is somebody else to go, somebody from the lower half of the field to come in.
And now it's 9/10, getting a replay of a big send up the inside there. Look, going down towards Stoke Corner. Kushmini a battle and Chelsea just and some rain coming, yeah, so it could be a shrewd move, a fresher set of wets rather than down to 6 could be the big move of the race, couldn't it, this? With the cars currently on lap number 21 and 17 more minutes to go, but it's getting brighter all the time. Coming out of Stoke to the end of Vale, and Dunn edging closer and closer and closer. So the Irish driver almost up with him at the end of Vale now. So suddenly we've got a up there is cycle through for Kushmini, and also you've got in the pit lane
Oliver Goethe.
Yeah, that's right, in the Red Bull calendar squarely back for the together. This is out of the pits, battle for position. Goethe to the outside of line, travels into the side of him. He spins, but Kushmini clearly was holding up the pit lane. He's trying to get going out, but waiting for the traffic to come through. And I think okay with the car in terms of damage, but any time. And Oliver Goethe around the outside was effectively driven into. Now Arvid Lindblad still doing purple sectors. The battle for the race lead comes to the end of Vale once more. Jack Crawford still just about in the hand of Alex Dunn, but let's see because Dunn will get the moves. 3 tenths of a second. Luke Browning comes into the pit lane from third place. Into Woodcote with still just ahead. Jack Crawford is left of the race, and Gabriele Mini is the reason for this yellow flag, and he's out of the race, he's out of the car. Now, if that car is stranded, this could be the introduction of the they can catch up with you. Replay of Gabriele Mini getting away right in front of Goethe. Goethe was certainly quicker coming out of the pit lane. He was on the money straight off. And have a look at Gabriele Mini. Into the side of Goethe. And so
Touch in the pit lane. I thought it was a touch in the pit lane, or possibly that's what has upset the handling of Mini's car and why it failed to turn.
Well, it got to the slicks as well, got the red side out there. So touching, you're always going to get off worse Goethe than the wets.
Personal safety cars to back down. Now, Luke Browning, we need to keep an eye on. What did we see for Nina Pence? Jack Crawford, did we see Browning going on to slicks or wets?
It was going to wets.
Browning, okay. So new wets for Browning, and now down the pit lane comes Jack Crawford. So this is the driver that was in the lead. That's now going to put Alex Dunn up front. Jack Crawford is in the team. Down to Lucas Oil team. Here is Crawford, and it is going to be a set of wets. New wets.
What do we think? Black went out, so I thought he went back out on wets, but he's
Okay, so the virtual safety car is on track. So what happens to the road in entry of Alex Dunn? Do they keep him out? Of course, this is taking a bit of pressure off the tyres. There's another car that has stopped, and it's Robin Stanek now, and he has had a moment by the look of it, coming onto Hanger Straight, like he's looped it coming out of Beckett's towards Chapel Curve. So now there are two cars to retrieve. Stanek apologises to the team, trying to suggest that the team had done. So Robin Stanek, who was running in that leading six early on, also out of the race now. Very frustrated as he tries to get the car going. So, two cars to retrieve. What your prediction would be in that safety car?
he? That's the only problem. He's now can't get past Cordelia. Very frustrated behind it. It's not what I'm talking about.
Do some talk last night. Flashing the lights together.
Joshua Jackson going ahead of Victor Martins and then seeing the virtual safety car called, let Martins retake place. Safety car called, so now people can, of course, catch the cars ahead. So this is either Alex Dunn's winning strategy to stay out and nurse it to the end, or it's his undoing.
Okay, absolutely. Okay, watch out with that, watch out.
Alex Dunn is not happy with Cordelia ahead of him, but probably he's going to have a second car. So right now the track is probably drier than it has been for a good hour, maybe more. And Alex Dunn is on a very worn set of wet. He can't really afford to pick now, can he? Because he just hammered so many places. He's got to leave it to the end on a set of tyres past their best.
Other point, sorry, just another point is that Cordelia is teammate of Alex Dunn.
Oh, so
Different liveries, but they're both around in motorsport.
Right, well in theory, when you're the safety car, that should get in front of Dunn. So Dunn, I think that comes Alex Dunn. Also coming in, looks like being Martins, and also now Dirksen and Bogdanovic. Order coming out of Braintree, which is the first part of the second leg. We're going to see after the pit lane. It'll become really interesting now to see what the order is after this wave of stops, and indeed how many are on slicks rather than a fresh set of wets. It's certainly going to be so virtual safety car to safety car. Dunn in, Martins in, Dirksen in, Bogdanovic in, Montoya in. So Dunn
Yes. The poor safety car's got nothing to pick up at the moment because time didn't they? Safety car hovering and crawling out of the lid. And we did get Crawford first. Dunn next out of the pits. So it's Martins at the moment. This is wet, right? Martins was on wet as well, wasn't he? Yeah. In third place, then Jackson in fourth place.
so is that Martins or Browning for third? Browning, isn't it? Browning. So usually that Crawford, Dunn and Browning. So actually Luke Browning has not lost anything, has he? He was third when he pitted, and he's third now that others have cycled through.
So unlucky, mate.
How unlucky, he says. Well, yeah, he's not lost anything, but he's not gained anything. But he might be able to do that on the resumption of the race. But the way we're going to race it, also got to get everybody in the corridor ready for the resumption. So, Stanek's car being moved. Jack Crawford's probably breathing a sigh of relief. It's kind of worked out for him after all, hasn't it, despite pitting on a different lap?
Yeah. So Crawford, Dunn, Browning, Dirksen, Bogdanovic, and then Martins, then Montoya, Lindblad, Deschamps, and Fonroli. That's the top 10. Martin just outside the road.
That's right. And we've got 6 minutes of the timed part of this race. We are on 26, it's a 29 lap race. So it could still be laps rather than time. It's getting probably quite. But the drivers now want to know how long before they can go racing. They're still stretched out quite a long way around Silverstone, but look for the lead. 4, 5 in a line now. They've all bunched up. Dino Bogdanovic looking as though he's pretty committed, and Montoya likewise as he tries to join that queue further back. So, after Hanger Straight they come. Safety car line still on, but there's certainly one more round of the vibrating up. And the cracking having time they're expected the team to stop. Still the drivers crawling around, getting up to the safety car. Sammy Megatunic has just gone, for example, through Abbey. And the yellow flags continue to show because we are on the safety car conditions.
ground starts to come down again. So bar the couple at the back, everybody on the wet tyre.
Safety car ending. We're going to go back to racing.
You shouldn't do. We have to find out.
So the cars now come down towards the end of Wellington Straight into the left-hander. Alex Dunn querying Jack Crawford's pit stop, was that? And whether it counted?
Yeah.
Was that because it was under a VSC? So we had Crawford ahead before the pit stops came. Now the safety car is going to head to the pit lane. There's rain falling once again, the wipers are on, and you've got Jack Crawford, Alex Dunn, Luke Browning for the lead. And therefore it's America versus Ireland. It's Britain third. Could we get Luke Browning from 12 on the grid to win on home soil? It would be quite a drive, and it's not out of the question given the way that he's been driving so far. Safety car in this time, so hold on to your waterproof hats, everybody. This is going to be good. Right, the stewards will deliberate, I am sure. The rain is falling over here as well. The driver's on the wet tyre, and it is up to Crawford now to decide when to pull the pin, when to accelerate. You can't overtake until you get to the appropriate safety car line, but here they come then out of Stoke Corner. Luke Browning straight away onto the back of the sideways. Alex Dunn. Jack Crawford gets away by a couple of lengths as they get to the end of the Vale. So with a couple of laps to go, the drivers turn their way up.
He had a huge squabble a bit further back, in and around 7th, 8th positions, including Forderoli and Bashura go wheel to wheel. Bashura in the orange MP car though, then holds a position and then lunges down the inside of the next car on the way to the lip, so he turns defence into attack, takes Forderoli with it, then both get past Arvid Lindblad. Forderoli then hits the front of that queue and gets past the pair of them. Fantastic battle.
And Johnson's car is still stranded on the pit straight. Telling drivers, you've got to do it quick, got to push just in case the race is neutralised again. Safety car called. The safety car has been called again. And with this team at 28 to 29, I think that's going to give us the results, isn't it? Because Jack Crawford and Alex Dunn, Luke Browning are going to be in the safety car process very shortly because this man, Joshua Dirksen, has at the moment, it is on the pit straight and he's not being able to get going. So the safety car called once again. Big shame. The replay of it is coming and it Dirksen just before the throttle. Just spotted coming out of the car. He accelerated too hard too soon and around the car went and he just can't get it fired up. So the safety car is deployed once again. So real frustration perhaps. Josh Dirksen saying I can't believe it. The race now neutralised means the marshals are allowed on track. Again, so this race you can tell the difference between the race because the car was right there near the SS gate, but you can't have conditions and marshals on track, so you have to neutralise it. What we're been saying all weekend about it's not your day, it's not your day, it's not his weekend, but it's not his season. Martin's been a bit like that. He's had a good year and a bad year, hasn't he? We saw him, for example, the drop from the Alpine program for a year, and then the results of the rebuild his reputation. He's also come into the pit lane, so Victor Martin's into the pits, and isn't going to be able to get any sort of result out of this, because that's it, safety car going to go home. Victor Martin built up front damage, comes to the pit road, and Tim obviously picked up some damage, I think, in the touch of the race, and he's kept to the pit lane, so a bit puzzled as to why the team would do that, knowing that the race wouldn't be restarted, just leave it out there and try and salvage some point. But anyway, the pit lane was beckoned. And so Jack Crawford, who in fairness to him drove really well there, whether it was to build the gap early on or withstand the pressure from Alex Dunn, he is on target to be our race winner, is he not? The year after, they went into Formula 3, struggled in his first year, won Macau, came into F2 last year, and the lessons learned have really been so useful this season. The podium beckons then for Luke Browning. He's had a couple of second places, but now as the rain comes down much more heavily once again, they're heading towards the end of this final lap of the race, and taking second place, Luke Browning for third, and Dino Ricciardo, Sebastian Montoya, and then rounding out the top six. So Jack Crawford wins the Formula 2 feature race, the second race of the weekend here in the FIA Formula 2 Championship, his third victory of the season. And the checkered flag, the gaps will rather be relevant, but Jack Crawford hold on. And after the editorial tribute. After the editorial tribute, we build up to the drivers' parade at 1 o'clock. There'll be these very hot laps, and in theory, at point 3, the red arrows fly past the cars will be somewhat better than that. So let's hope that this is the last we see of the rain. No through the skies will brighten to allow us full build up to the Qatar Airways British Grand Prix.
Secretary of State for Science, Innovation and Technology. Well done to Jack Crawford. And felicitations to Dan Sanfasolo, represented by their crew chief Christoph Lane, receives the trophy for the constructors from Peter Kyle, Secretary of State for Science, Innovation and Technology. In second place,
Alex Dunn, his 5th podium of the year, presenting with the trophy by Ryan Hay.